And we're back with more of the
Oh, there we
Shacknews
go.
Awards 2023. And we are talking Best Puzzle Game of the Year 2023. Not unlike most categories this year, this category is stacked. But it's stacked with like different games. So here are the nominees, and then we'll get to chatting about them. The Talos Principle 2, Humanity, Suika Game, also known as Watermelon Game, Viewfinder, Cocoon, and Crime O'Clock. So I played a little bit of the Talos Principle 2. I played a decent amount of the Talos Principle 1. This is great. If you're into like a first person perspective puzzle game, the Talos Principle 2 is pretty sweet. It's graphically impressive. It definitely made my PC chug when I was playing it last night. But once you get in the game and it's up and running, it runs really well. Has nice options for optimizing performance and stuff. But yeah, it's awesome. If you played the first one, it's just kind of more of the same. Obviously, a couple new mechanics here and there, but that formula wasn't broken. So uh, it just seems like a bigger scope version of the first game. Uh, I don't know if anyone else have anything they want to say about the Talos Principle 2? No, that's all good. Humanity came out this year though,
Mm.
published by Enhanced Games. This is like it's almost like Captain Toad meets Lemmings with a spiritual Shiba Inu that guides people. So yeah, there's a bunch of people you have to get from point A to point B, right? And the dog has these various powers where you can have humans jump or turn. It's really a shoe on the other foot kind of scenario where the dog is telling the humans what to do here.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's this game, like the way it escalates little bits by bits, whether you get like new moves that you can direct the humans with. Because like it's like a gridded game. Like you move to it's square gridded where you walk to a spot, you can drop a directional slot there, whether it's turn left, turn right, go keep going straight, jump,
mhm,
swim, all that stuff. And and then there's just like the sheer amount of physics based obstacles on each level that you continue to see that continues to escalate that game as you go. Like when one of the first water levels where the water is just kind of sitting up in a cube
Yeah.
and you just kind of got to direct the humans through the water to these little platforms that are like floating on either side of it and like judging for how much they'll descend, rise or just like the physics of that game are incredible.
Mhm.
Um, and I love how much it like escalates throughout to where like you get into some insanely mind-bending puzzles, especially when you consider that the bonus objective of each level is that you have to get these golden guys into the
Yeah.
goal, and if you lose them, you have to start the level over to try again.
I was gonna say,
Um,
like, the golden guys are a lot like the purple coins in Mario Wonder. It's like, okay, you beat the level, congratulations. But did you get all the purple coins? And the golden guys are that. It's like an added challenge to each level. Where like, yeah,
mhm.
you can clear the level, but getting 100% of the level is very different. And I love that from a replayability standpoint. But also, like, I say this about good puzzle games in general. Humanity has this ability to make me feel so dumb. Like I'll just be banging my head up against this 3D puzzle, and then you take a break, you come back, and you get it instantly. I love games that do that to you, and this is one of those. Baba is You, that game from a
Yeah.
few years ago. I have the same feeling about humanity that I do Baba is You in that sense. Where Baba is You made me feel so dumb at times when I figured out how to solve a puzzle. Humanity's the same way.
And like it includes a hint system in there, like where if you are finally just fed up, so frustrated. I'm the most stubborn person in the world. I'll look at a puzzle for like hours upon hours and
Yeah,
maybe come back to it later before I'll take a hint.
same.
But I appreciate that that is there because there were definitely some parts in this where I felt like you could have done it in one or a few, you could have solved a level in one or two ways. And I was like just genuinely curious as to how they put their puzzle together, as to how I put my puzzle together.
Yep. And then on top of that, once you're done with the first party levels, uh, they opened up the whole game to level editing. So the community is making ridiculous levels at this point, and it's like it's kind of a Mario Maker scenario now where the community is keeping the game going, and Enhance is doing a really good job of like highlighting those things on social and like calling, hey, check out this level code, or uh, that's something that hasn't really been done by Enhance before, right? Where it's like there's a creative aspect to this game, and I think that's really cool to like give people the tools instead of just rushing out Humanity 2 next year or something. It's like I think Humanity could last for a really long time. I know that sounds like I'm talking about like human civilization when I say that, but like the game Humanity could last for a long time, just because the fans of the game are going to keep it going. I think that's cool.
Very good VR game too. Like very good VR game. Enhance just has an understanding about building that into their games in sensible and relaxing ways. This is my chill VR game
Hmm.
where
They're
like
also
I
just the synesthesia engine that they use in their games translates perfectly to VR. Like, uh, all those things are designed to give you a feeling of immersion, a feeling of presence, and both of those things are so important in VR design. They have that, and you can feel it even in the flat screen experience in these games. So, yeah, they those games in VR, the enhanced games in VR, are next level immersive, and this is no different from what it sounds like, and that's awesome. I I literally can't play Tetris Effect in VR. It messes with my brain. I won't do it. And I love that game. So I'm not gonna try Humanity in VR. I'll take your word for it, TJ. But I don't need nightmares or whatever the hell dreams Enhance will create with that. But yeah, I do. I just Humanity is so simple in its basic gameplay elements, and how complicated it gets from there is what really impressed me this year with this game. Is like simple concept with a couple of gameplay mechanics that create a very complex set of puzzles to solve. And I just love that because a good puzzle game has to be challenging and rewarding and exciting at the same time. And Humanity does all three of those things. Next up, though, let's talk about Watermelon Game. Man, Donovan, I remember you came into like a staff meeting earlier this year. You're like, yeah,
Mhm.
I picked up this really cute game this weekend. It's called Suika Game, but everyone calls it Watermelon Game. And you're like, it's great, Asif. You shouldn't download it. And you told me not to download it because it was just gonna
Mhm.
absorb all of my time. And
Mhm.
while that may be true, uh, like the first day I downloaded it, I was like, I have to beat this game. And I guess beating this game at the time in my mind was getting to the watermelon, right? So this is
Right.
a puzzle game. For people who don't know, this is a puzzle game. It's a match two. So you're matching two fruits together and they create a new fruit. And then there's like a set of chain reactions that happen given how many piles of fruit you have on your map. It's similar to like the Dr. Mario uh, play area, but what I think's interesting is like there's like a slipperiness to the physics of all the fruit, where they interact with each other in a way where they'll slip by on one side or the other. That to me is the secret sauce of this game. Is
Yep.
the physics of how these items interact with each other even after you've already placed them, and how gravity can affect that, or how matching two of them creates a larger use of volume and that makes something else move. The
Mhm.
lose condition in this is if you get above the top of the play area. So there are times where you're well below it, but you do some sort of combo that shoots fruit above it, and you lose.
Yeah.
So the game is It sounds simple, but once you start to play it, you see these very intricate systems that they created and how they all interact, and they're excellent. And this port to the Nintendo Switch, it's a new game compared to the mobile game, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It's got different presentation, it's got leaderboards that it keeps track of, uh, and it has a new song. It's got this nice, chill song. Uh, it's my wind down game. You know, you're talking about humanity being your chill game, TJ. For me, my Nintendo Switch life is largely F-Zero 99 followed by Watermelon Game. Because F-Zero 99 gets me all riled up, and I look like that picture of Mario that you tweeted yesterday, where I'm screaming at my TV. And then I fire up Suika Game, that lovely song hits. And, you know, I play it for another 30 minutes, and it's just a great way to wind down your day or week. It's also become like kind of my Friday afternoon game. After we're done with work, I like to throw that on and just have a couple of chill sessions. It's also a really good pick up and play game. You can pick it up, play it for a little bit, be on your way. But at the same time, it has that F-Zero 99 like quality, or that Rocket League like quality, where you play one game and then you fall into the one more game itis, right? We're like, okay, well, I'm gonna
Just
do
one.
that. Yeah, I may not have got watermelon this time, but I'm gonna get it next time, right? So the first day I had this game, I think I played it straight for like 5 hours until I got the watermelon. Because I was just like, I am a stubborn game player when it comes to stuff like that. I love puzzle games. And yeah, this game's great in handheld. It's like a great, like, you know, NFL day if you just pull out your Switch and you're playing in handheld. It's excellent as a second screen kind of game. Yeah, and it's cheap. It's like $3. It's a hell
There
of
you
a
go.
deal.
One of the biggest selling points. Yeah, just such a relaxing puzzle game. And I agree about the physics being what really sets this apart from similar falling match whatever puzzle
Hmm.
games. It's because you'll have moments where you're like, there's an apple sitting there, but there's like just a quarter inch of space. You're like, I can drop a cherry through there and hit that one that's stuck at the bottom, and that'll turn into a set of grapes, which will hit the grapes that were already down there, and I'll set off this crazy. And there's so many moments like that that happen both intentionally and unintentionally.
Yep.
Because a lot of times where I'm combining stuff, and then I'll see like the bloop bloop bloop, and I'm like, whoa, 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 what's happening? This is getting out of control, and then we start getting close to that cutoff at the top, and my heart starts racing. Um, but yeah, it's a great puzzle game. During October, they did like a spooky version on the main menu. Where you could like flip a switch and it became like you're in like a graveyard, and they were all like it was like a jack o' lantern instead of some of the other fruits and stuff. They did a little themed version, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I love it. Great playing game. I should mention. It's great for when you're waiting or you have time to kill. Um, it is very delightful. It's
Yeah, I
the
think
first.
TJ mentioned that too. Like on even on
Mhm.
playing it on the phone, it's been a great
Yeah.
like I'm stuck in line kind of game, or I'm on a
Mhm.
plane waiting to take off kind of thing. I haven't traveled since before the Death Stranding, so I don't know about judging it from a playing game perspective. But yeah,
Mhm.
it is like I could see that getting lost in that for a few hours on a flight wouldn't be too hard. Uh, it's just such a cute. I love the art style too. Like it is very cute.
Yeah.
Uh, the way that the fruits interact with each other. Yeah, it's just great. It's such a great game. Uh, but yeah, we have three more nominees here. Viewfinder is another game that came out this year. I believe it placed. I don't want to spoil any of our other awards, but I believe it's mentioned in some of our indie categories. Uh, as a game that is pretty darn neat. I'm trying to find the proper description of it.
It leans heavy into visual perspective puzzles.
Hmm.
And like we're talking about where like you are armed with a Polaroid camera, let's say, just because I don't know what else to call it. And when you take pictures of the environment, you can use those pictures to create certain effects in the environment.
That's right. Yeah.
So if you're at a gap in a bridge, you take a picture of part of the bridge, and then you take the picture and put it and
Place
lay
it.
it so your view is over the gap with that picture of the bridge, and then you create a new bridge in space.
So it's like a first person photo based puzzle platformer.
Hmm.
I think is the best way. I was like trying to figure out how to describe this because it is very strange, and this gameplay mechanic is different. And they use things like copy machines in it too. So like there's like real world references to like things that we would use just at an office. And yeah, I think calling it a Polaroid is the right description because it does shoot out a little image. Uh, and yeah, there's times where you take a picture of something and it may be something you're looking down at, and then you flip it upside down, and whatever was on it falls. It's like the way that they take a flat image and have it turn into 3D elements in the game, I think is really interesting. That core mechanic, though, of being able to like take a picture of something and place it in the world and then solve 3D puzzles based on that. Very unique game, and a different kind of puzzle game this year.
I'm
It's
watching
very
gameplay
pretty
now. That
too.
is very trippy. Like you
Yeah,
said
right?
it,
Yeah.
he described it perfectly, but I was like, I still wasn't getting it, and I had to look a game, and I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, I highly
Like,
recommend that people watch the trailer on Steam or something for an example of it. Because that's when I was like trying to introduce the game, I'm like, it's this really weird, trippy game, but it's also a first person perspective. I get these weird MC Escher vibes from the game because a lot of the images that you use are black and white, and there's like a tessellation nature to them. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's cool. It's cool as hell, and it's got some stunning visuals as well. And it's an indie game. It's like a night, smaller studio. Sad Owl Studios developed this. It was published by Thunderful. But yeah, if you're looking for a very unique puzzle game, and it works on Steam Deck, Viewfinder uh, should be on your list for sure. Next up is Cocoon. TJ, can you let the folks know about Cocoon?
Cocoon is a puzzle game in which you venture inside of worlds. Each of them has a certain puzzle theme to them, and you solve the puzzles that are in them. Like there might be one where it's like a dusty, sandy desert, and you have to like operate certain bridges and transferring paths, but you might not have the tools to get all the way through that world. So the gimmick is that you leave that world and move out to an overworld, and you can pick up that desert world and carry it with you on your back, even into another world where it's like might be a swampy world. And each of the worlds has like a very different puzzle mechanic to it, but each of the orbs, when you're holding them in your hands, also provides a certain power that you can use in other worlds. And that sounds like I don't know if I'm doing it justice by describing it that way, but much like Viewfinder, it's just a very interesting collection of world within world puzzle solving where you like carry these orbs with you into one another, layer upon layer, and try to like go as far as you can into each one.
And this is from the lead gameplay designer of Limbo and Inside.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for folks who have heard of Inside or Limbo. If you're into that style, this is obviously a different game entirely, but very cool. And yeah, got a lot of love. It's very popular on Steam, and yeah, it's another one of those games where Annapurna published it. They got some good taste over there. Nice.
Yeah, like there's one that I really like where like if you're carrying the desert world around, it'll put an aura around you that will like give life to the area around you in other worlds. And so like you have these various characteristics of these orbs that like drastically change whatever environment you're in or allow you to interact with it in a unique and interesting way. And I think the experimentation of like entering and leaving worlds, taking one orb into another world, and just figuring out where these pieces fit together as you like try to think of them in a multi-layered way is a really interesting and unique perspective on puzzle solving.
I also just want to comment on the art style. I think it's very cool looking, and it seems like there's a variety of kind of these 3D puzzles in the gameplay,
Hmm.
which seems neat. I haven't had enough time with it, but yeah, it looks great and definitely a worthy nominee for this category. Donovan, you reviewed Crime O'Clock. Can you Can you explain this game to the folks at home? Because it's like when I looked at it, I was like, so they made Where's Waldo the game?
It's like Where's Waldo if Where's Waldo was like a mystery game. So essentially you work for, I forget the name of the organization, but it's like some futuristic anti-crime organization. And I think it's very funny in the game. They make it clear early on, they're like, we're not the police, we're not cops, we're not law enforcement. Um, but you're more so trying to protect the timeline. So like there will be like disruptions in the timeline where somebody does something they weren't supposed to, like break into an attic and steal like a guitar from a musician. And you'll get a map and it'll be an entire city. There's like people on the beach, there'll be people at a hot dog stand, or people walking out of class. And all they'll tell you is like, hey, if somebody stole an item from this person's house, like you need to figure out where that took place. So you're scanning the image and it's all like black and white. Like it's just like out of a coloring book that wasn't filled in,
Mhm.
and you're going through it. Then eventually you'll see like an attic and the glass is like shattered, and you click on it and it'll circle it, and the game's like, okay, this is where the crime took place. All right, there's like a trail leading out, let's figure out where that person came from. So then you're scrolling around, you're like, oh wait, there's a dude like standing in this alleyway like with a ski mask on. Okay, click him, and you just kind of trace multi-step process to figure out who did a crime, how, what, when, why. um, and there are a bunch of different ones of those. They have like there's a murder mystery in there. There's robberies, uh, and a few other ones they have, but they're very fun. It's a cool mixture of mystery solving and using just like deduction, and also just classic Where's Waldo, hidden object, find the thing
Mhm.
kind of puzzles.
I think it's the mashup of those two things that made it really unique, right? And
Mhm.
it sticks out from a gameplay perspective this year. Uh, I I think that the list that we have here are all awesome. Like they're all kind of different in their own way. Uh, some of them have some drastically new gameplay mechanics. Some of them take an idea and just kind of run with it, and some of them are just about matching fruit. But all of them are great puzzle games, and I think it's cool to see uh, just like a resurgence in weird puzzle game, like just out there kind of experimental puzzle games. I think it's cool. Uh, but yeah, we should vote. What do you say? Sound like a plan?
Let's do it.
Donovan, I'll start with you.
Ooh, that's new. I'll go with uh I do love Karma Clock, but I'm gonna go with Suika Game. That is my pick.
I'm just gonna vote. I'm gonna vote now, and I'm voting for
What?
Watermelon Game. Sweet game. Greg.
Nice.
No, Viewfinder's too creative and unique not to vote for it. That game is totally trippy.
Yep. There's no watermelon in it though,
No,
that I know of.
What we know of.
That we
There
know.
might be.
but there is a kitty cat.
Okay. Yeah, there's not a kitty cat in Watermelon Game, but I bet cats would like watermelon. Anyway, TJ.
Uh, before I vote, I would just like to point out that there is, in fact, a watermelon in Viewfinder.
Damn.
There you go. Didn't take long to get to the bottom of that.
And
That's why
but
they
you
pay
know,
us the big bucks.
but you know what? I'm going with Humanity. It's the chillest puzzle that I've ever engaged with, and I love that I can play it in VR, play it normal, and engage with a community full of levels when I'm done with it. I have a
Talk
feeling
himself
that
out of his own vote. How does that happen?
which one? Oh no, I
Viewfinder.
was. Oh no, I was always on Humanity train. I think I nominated Humanity.
Yeah.
Um, it's been my pleasure as far as like I'm a puzzle minded person, and all of these are cool as hell. I've played a ton of Suika game.
Mhm.
Viewfinder I haven't had time with, but I'm gonna get into that and play that because it looks cool as hell. But as far as just like the thing that engages me, I love a good lemming puzzle in the first place. And the way that humanity presents it, and not only does that, but gives users the tools to build them themselves, tickles me pink. I love that game.
I do too, man. And it speaks to how much I love Suika Game that I voted for anything over humanity. Because I am an unrepentant fan of enhanced games and everything they do. So, yeah, this is a tough category. Steve.
Yeah, I totally agree that this is a tough one. I'm torn between Suika Game and Viewfinder. I watched that trailer on Viewfinder, and that is some crazy graphical stylings there. I think
It's a
I
game
gotta
we
go with
want.
Viewfinder.
We want that game on Switch too, Steve. Like
It makes too
that's
much sense for it to be on Switch.
yeah, that needs to be on Switch. Okay, so that's who we have here. Let's get to some absentee ballots. Puzzle game. And let's see. I don't have a pick from Bill. David voted for Humanity. And Ozzy votes for Cocoon. And
Damn it. Damn it, Ozzy.
Sam votes for Talos Principle
Damn
too.
it, Sam.
Whole system's crashing down.
Yeah, it's all coming together.
It is a bit of that. I don't see any other ballots. Let's see if I can get Bill this puzzle game. Just ask Bill.
Called While the
As it currently
Angler is
stands, we've
kind
got
of
like
like
a
a puzzle
multi-tie,
game.
right?
As it
Oh.
stands right now, it's a 3-way tie.
Ooh.
Of course it is.
Is that a Shacknews Awards first? I want to think it is. 3-way? We've had 2 ways, not 3 ways though, I don't think. Let me
I'm
go
not
back and
sure.
watch all of them. Hold on.
Yeah, let me go back and watch the last 500 hours of Shacknews Awards, and I'll get to the bottom of that. I did just ask Bill for his vote. Of course. Bill's vote now puts us in a 4-way tie.
Yeah, that's definitely first. A
nice.
4-way tie is definitely a first. Maybe a 3. We've never had a
So-
4-way tie.
Are we gonna have a vote runoff where one person has to pick between 4 different games they could all win? Is that what we're looking at?
I don't even know what the hell is this a puzzle? Are we now is this
Oh,
a
man.
puzzle? Have
What
we
is
unlocked a
life?
new puzzle game?
What is it? Like, what are we even doing here?
Figuring out which wins this is now the puzzle game.
Dear.
Calls coming from inside the house.
Who
Is there
voted for
even like an
Cocoon?
odd one out that can vote on the?
Yeah,
What we really need is Ozzy.
Damn it, Ozzy.
Who voted Cocoon?
Ozzy.
Oh, that was Ozzy. Oh god. Oh boy.
They flip a
Yeah.
coin, but we gotta flip it like 8 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 4-way tie.
That's how you solve puzzles. Just random guessing.
Like we gotta pull an Aussie and flip a coin. Only do it like 8 times.
Have we pinged him?
Not yet, but we should. I'm gonna just ping everyone in general.
We have
Yeah,
a 4-way
we don't.
tie. Warning. Warning.
It is funny that this ended up being a puzzle in and of itself.
That's funny.
We literally are trying to get to the bottom of this puzzle now.
Is Viewfinder on Switch? Did I miss that?
No.
No, in
No,
fact, it
It needs
was
to be.
nominated
our
for
category.
game that should,
It was featured in that deliberation.
That's right, it was, yeah.
Oh boy.
What was Ozzy saying?
Oh!
Oh,
Ozzy's done it.
Ozzy's vote is in.
Why does he hate fruit so much? It's a real
He's a
question.
vegetable guy.
I guess so. But yeah, that's it. We did it. All it took was finding Ozzy, getting him to revote. But yeah, I don't know if you guys can tell. The staff likes all of these games. They're all very good. This was maybe the most competitive category we've had in the entire awards. So congratulations to the Talos Principle, Humanity, Suika Game, Cocoon, and Crime O'Clock for being nominated for this category. Your games are awesome. We love them. They're all very different, but one game stood out above the rest in this puzzle game category, and it's Viewfinder. Congratulations, Viewfinder. You are our Shacknews Best Puzzle Game of the Year 2023.